Many, if not most, dare I conjecture all, listening to the music opening today's edition of Music from Waller Hall, would readily cite the organ as the instrument on which it is being performed. A bit of a no-brainer, perhaps, but what if I were to tell you that this impressive sound is coming partially from pipes and partially from digital electronics, asking you to identify which is which? This is Charles Olegar, your host, warmly welcoming you to Music from Waller Hall here on WBTN AM 1370, your live and local, community-supported, nonprofit radio station, as I likewise cordially welcome today's guests, Bradley Day of Allen Organs and Justan Foster, organist of the First Reformed Church of Scotia, New York, the home of an incredible new hybrid organ that I submit challenges whatever preconceptions one might have in what now is a half-centuries-old pipes versus electronics controversy, not only among organists, but also of immediate relevance to churches and concert venues, intensified by the fact that one can go all pipe, all digital, or a combination of the two, yielding excellent musical results, whatever the choice. With today's program being about hybrid organs, let's turn to a piece that showcases our featured instrument's affinity to symphonic-style organ music from the Romantic era, as pipes and digital sound are so miraculously combined. The composer is Théodore César Salomé, who flourished in France between 1834 and 1896. The organist is Justan Foster. The recording was made expressly for this occasion within the past couple weeks at First Reformed Church of Scotia, Music from Waller Halls being on the road for the occasion. At the time I recorded the music for this show, Allen Organ Company's regional representative, Brad Day, sat down with me to talk about hybrid organs, in which Allen is arguably the industry's leader. The organ in First Reformed Church sanctuary is generically known as a hybrid. What does that mean exactly?
Well, it's analogous to a hybrid car, which is a combination of technologies. In a hybrid car, you would have electric and gasoline. With a hybrid organ, you have traditional wind-blown pipes and you have digital voices. In a true hybrid, the pipes play an integral role in the core of the foundational courses in one or more divisions, which is the case with this organ. We're not just merely adding pipes to a digital organ or digital to a pipe organ. They're all part of the specification.
Are there certain types of ranks of pipes that work better as pipes than as digital? How do you determine that?
Well, different builders take different approaches with this. There are some digital builders that will find a pipe organ that exists in a church and they literally just attach a digital organ to those pipes. And that's really not a hybrid approach. Our approach is different. We have found with a hybrid approach that if we stick with pipe ranks that are more foundational in style, meaning principal courses and flute courses, we get the power and the spaciousness that the pipes add to the overall sound in the room, but we also get more stability with the tuning of these particular types of ranks. When you start adding reed stops, strings, and in many cases mixture ranks, those are the types of sounds that more routinely will be harder to stay in tune. So we're finding that if we stick with diapasons, principals, and flutes as the core for the hybrid part of the organ, meaning the pipe part of the organ, we achieve what we want with pipes, and we pretty much keep the maintenance at a very low cost. This organ in this church has probably only been tuned twice in 2 years because of the stability of
That's
those.
amazing.
Yes.
So 40 years ago, and even much more recently, the differences between pipe and electronic organs were immediately recognizable sound-wise. As regards the recently installed Allen organ at First Reformed Church, though, my ears can have considerable difficulty telling which ranks are pipes and which are digital, and have in fact been fooled as recently as our recording session today, when I was absolutely convinced that there were pipes playing. How has this come to be?
Well, there are several things. First of all, the quality of recording equipment to capture the sound of the pipes themselves. That equipment and that technology is certainly better today than it was 40 years ago when digital organs were first introduced. But primarily what has driven this is advances in computer technology, advances in the quality of memory, and the fact that memory is much less expensive today than it was, say, 20 years ago, allows them to put vast amounts of memory into these instruments. And then the advances with software also gives us extremely fine voicing capabilities.
Before continuing this exploration of hybrid organs, let's interject this musical example of the First Reformed Church organ's capability to instantaneously switch from sounds familiar to late 19th century organists to those of 2 centuries earlier, as evidenced by this movement from an organ suite by Louis-Nicolas Clérambault, whose dates are 1676 to 1749. Our organist is, once again, Justan Foster, and the organ is his church's Allen organ, recently installed by Brad Day, a large instrument of 4 manuals and 132 ranks, some of which are pipe, others digitally generated, which for me, despite my 50 years' experience in the profession, are quite indistinguishable. hearing Mr. Foster's views on playing a hybrid organ following this brief station break here on WBTN. This is Charles Olegar welcoming you back to Music from Waller Hall, where today we are exploring the nature of hybrid organs, instruments that wed pipes and cutting-edge digital technology. Here are some of Justan Foster's observations, speaking as a highly gifted emerging artist whose playing is at a level of marketability that could provide an ample choice of organs employing exclusively pipes, were he so inclined. Do you feel, as an artist, compromised playing a digital? Are you sitting there saying, well, if I were on an all-pipe instrument, I could realize my fondest artistic desires in this passage?
I don't think anything's really been compromised. If anything, I think it allows your artistry to go further than what you could. I mean, this organ personally has been able to force approaching certain repertoire I might not on other instruments, and now I have really no excuse. It makes a real difference. It gets you more excited, I think, about working with it. So I don't think there's been any compromise, at least from the artist standpoint. I think you'll get out of it what you put into it.
The remarkable versatility of First Reformed Church's Allen organ and Justan Foster's artistry is further illustrated by this poetic piece by Henry Smart from the world of 19th century English cathedral music, for which Justan has selected a set of organ ranks showcasing the best of English Romantic style organ tonal design. Armed with the awareness of a number of pipe organs that are centuries old, yet in daily use, vis-a-vis a consideration of the general history of digital electronics over but a couple decades, one might raise the issue of probable longevity as regards what presently are cutting-edge digital organs. Stated another way, if you were using a personal computer 20 years ago, replete with DOS and a 24-pin printer, what is its present status? This gauntlet was thrown down in front of Brad Day. Is this organ going to become a dinosaur in another decade or less?
I certainly don't think so. Pretty much everybody that hears this organ or plays it, and I know Justin has invited a number of highly qualified professional organists to play this organ, including some very prominent local organists in this area. One person in particular said they were astounded at the sound. And while there will probably continue to be advancements in how digital organs are built as technology grows, it sounds pretty doggone good. We're not sure how we can improve on it too much, to be quite honest.
Noting that the interview portions heard on today's show represent but a fraction of a much longer discussion about hybrid organs with Brad Day and Justan Foster, we can look forward to revisiting this topic in the not-too-distant future. But with the general format of music from Waller Halls being weighted in favor of musical performance provided by the wealth of talent our region boasts, let's return to the sanctuary of First Reformed Church of Scotia with the church's superb organist Justan Foster showcasing the default settings of this impressive instrument. These default organ voices are inspired by the glorious achievements of Boston's Aeolian Skinner Company in the mid-20th century. Mr. Foster performs a piece by contemporary British composer Andrew Carter featuring this organ's several distinctive trumpet stops. For our Easter Music from Waller Hall show on April 5th, in just 2 weeks, we will be returning to First Reformed Church of Scotia, New York, with more of the brilliant artistry of today's guest, organist Justan Foster. Our Easter celebration also will include the stirring anthem Spring Bursts Forth Today by another of our region's outstanding musicians, composer and organist Alfred Fedak. March 29th, our next show date, finds me back on the organ bench at Waller Hall with some music appropriate to the Lenten season, coming to you here on WBTN AM 1370, your live and local, community-supported, nonprofit radio station. With sincere thanks to today's guests, Justan Foster of First Reformed Church Scotia and Bradley Day of Allen Organs, and hearty thanks to you, our listeners, for being with us, I bid you adieu with the cordial invitation to join us weekly at this time.